Okay, so we're going to talk about something that I've been talking about for a very, very long time. There was a shooting. I'm sorry, there was a shooting today, well, yesterday, of a deputy in Southern California. He said that a sniper had shot him, and they were on the lookout. They couldn't find him. Couldn't find the guy. SWAT, all kinds. He had an expensive citywide manhunt for the sniper who shot him. Angel Reynoso is still a trainee. He's still a trainee. So he's been shot in the shoulder with bulletproof vest while making his way to his car Wednesday. He announced over his radio in dramatic fashion he'd been shot by someone in the apartment building next to the parking lot. And I don't even have to go into explaining to you how heavy they went after that in these days and times. And they're saying that he caused the holes in his uniform by cutting it. There was no sniper, no shots fired, and no gunshot injury sustained to his shoulder. And I thought about something that is not talked about often. You probably won't find anybody on YouTube talking about this stuff. But, you know, they talk about Blue Lives Matter and all this kind of stuff. And it's nuts. Blue Lives Matter is a gang. It's nuts. Let's get into it here. I'm going to start with the Fox Lake, Illinois police shooting. An officer out there. I looked it up because I want to be clear. I want to be clear and concise. I don't want to be, well, I kind of remember a guy that, no. I was on the road when this happened. Suicide of Joe Glenowicz. How could you? Charles Joseph Joe. I remember they called him G.I. Joe. He was real well liked. He had gotten he had like a medal, I think, back in the day for stopping a bank robber and all this kind of stuff. And he went on the radio and he said that he had been shot, that it was two white men and a black man running into the woods. And they put out like 300 officers in them woods, man. Over that night, I think, was the next day, 300 officers, all the way through there. And I think it took them like 45 minutes to find the gun because he beat himself with the gun, then he shot himself twice, then he threw it. And it was like a lot of leaves there. I remember them saying, it's weird. They said that they had to test his hands for gunshot residue. And I just thought that was the weirdest shit ever, that this cop, you know, Blue Lives Matter, there's a threat against police officers, but you want to test his hands for gunshot residue? Because they want to see if he shot himself. And it came out. This is September the 1st of 2015. That's right. I had just got back on the road. I got back on the road in March. That's when I went solo, March the 4th or something. What was I doing in September? I think I was OTR. Yeah, G.I. Joe, they got it on. I'm looking at his Wikipedia here. And he's making $96,000 a year. Wow. Anyway, he had been he was a veteran. He'd been a lieutenant. I didn't know he was scheduled to retire in a month. I know that he was embezzling money from the cadet program. I'm not going to go into it because I don't give a fuck about him or his family. But this is another one of them cases where the union had to come out, and I think they had given the mother a bunch of money, his wife, and then he tried to get the money back. I don't know what happened there. I thought it was hilarious. Okay, let's go on to the next one. There was a police woman in Georgia that shot herself. She shot herself. Said she was shot by a black man. She got 15 years in prison. Amazing. Long time they revisit why the hell she lied about a black man shooting her. Sherry Hall, that was her name, Sherry Hall. She was 15 years in prison with another 23 years of probation. Wow, that's a long time. Here she was shot by a 6-foot, 230-pound black man in September 2016. This is like after the Michael Brown thing happened. I think the Michael Brown thing happened a couple years before, and there was other things going on. It was real hot right then. And I've often thought, what happens if they had went out that night and got a black man, and the black man said, "Nah, I ain't going with y'all," and they kill him? What happened? She said she was trying to apprehend a suspect when she shot her and escaped on foot. While a bullet was found lodged in a protective vest, her whole field story ended up a complete and utter lie. They had a county-wide manhunt. See, conservatives always like to go into money, and I still kind of think like conservative, which is the manpower they used and the amount of money they used to go after a ghost, a non-essential subject. You know, that's how I think. And I remember them saying, like, I guess she thought that she'd get time served, like 90 days in jail. I'm like, this bitch damaged. I guess she just thought, well, I damaged property, I'll get fired, and it wasn't violent. What happened if these cops go out there busting on doors? Have you ever seen how cops act when a cop gets hurt? You don't want to be nowhere around that. You don't want to be in the way of that. Okay? You don't. I'm just letting you know. Hopefully you never see that. When a cop gets hurt or is on the radio talking about he needs 1018 traffic or whatever, you don't want to get in the way of that. That could have gotten people killed. Yes. She deserves every minute of 15 years. She deserves that. She didn't realize the squad car's video system was operating, even though she failed to turn on the blue lights. In the audio, you can only hear 2 shots being fired, not 3 as she stated. 3 shell cases found at the scene, 2 near the patrol car, 1 in the woods where a shooter had been. As expected, the 2 cases near the car matched the gun she was carrying that night. But 1 found in the woods matched the department issued backup gun she kept in her nightstand. And that gun's firing pin was to help further identify a bullet shot from that gun had been tampered with. No one's been able to say exactly what happened and how the bullet became lodged in her vest. We may never know exactly what happened tonight. But the story came to a particularly tense time in police departments across America. The summer of 2016 was a deadly one for black people, with news of officer-involved shootings of unarmed black men dominating the headlines. As protests broke out across the country, police feared retaliation, especially if the gunman killed 5 officers during a Black Lives Matter demonstration. The gunman, Michael Xavier, had no affiliation with the group. Soon after her shooting, she milked the story, appearing on a local CBS affiliate to talk about her harrowing ordeal and stoke fear in the Jackson community. And for him to disregard for human life really angers me and upsets me, she said, quote, if it do it to an officer, how much more will she do to a citizen on the street? This time, police are still combing the county for a possible suspect. I'm not going into this. I don't have to. We'll give you enough right there. All right. 15 years. It is crazy that she got more time for shooting at a car and shooting in her vest than she would have gotten for killing a black man in cold blood. Something to think about. Moving on. Here's one I hadn't even looked at. Alabama officer faked being shot in a bid for stolen valor. A Birmingham, Alabama officer staged his own shooting last week in a grab for stolen valor, leaving the department. And this was August of this year. August. Update August 2nd. And today is August 25th. I didn't even hear about this one. The officer Keith Buchanan, who graduated from police academy in 2012, was relieved of all duties, likely to face charge of criminal mischief, false reporting, and discharging a firearm within the city limits. Slap in the face to other officers in the efforts they put forward. Said he was patrolling the railroad tracks near the Birmingham-Tarrant border earlier on July 21st. He radioed a call for help, with gunshots audible in the background. Fellow officers searched for him for more than a half hour before officers found him on the ground beside the tracks, appearing to be unconscious and holding his gun. His police car was found nearby with a bullet hole through the front window. He found to be non-injured. He's uninjured. He faked it. He didn't even shoot himself. Our investigation concluded the whole event was a hoax. Radio call, the shots fired. the help call, lying uninjured on the tracks, the damage to a police car, all a hoax. We found nothing to support the officer counter this incident. I can't say it enough. We're always being relentless pursuit of suspects. Even a suspect is one of our own. What I'm putting forward to you in this, let's get to the meat here. Let's flesh this out. Is it over and over and over and over and over? And there's more cases. I don't want to draw this video out longer than I have to. Over and over and over and over and over, we had cases of police officers faking injuries, faking shootings, faking dangers to themselves and others that don't exist. And what this stuff shows to me is less so much that, Blue Lives Matter, we're in danger. And it's more that you're living in a society that's in the final throes of capitalism, where the dollar is worth a lot less. You're dealing with a president that emboldens neo-Nazis and racists everywhere. And we're still engaging in a failed drug war in many places. I think they want to present this idea that police are being hunted. But what we see is more of a, if you don't respect our existence, then you should expect resistance, baby. This idea they want to put forward of folks hunting cops, I don't see it. I mean, you really have to study and research and look for black mass shooters and all that kind of stuff. You really do. You really do. It's just not, it's just the facts aren't there. Statistics aren't there. It's just not real. And then white men will do it. They'll do that. They'll go out here and they'll dig and try to find it. I don't have to dig for white supremacist shootings. And you don't have to either. If you don't believe me, all I gotta do is pick up a newspaper. Take a look around. These white men are at war with their own country. They're at war with, so they are the vagabond. They are the threat to public safety, not us. And that's what things like this show you, that the Caucasian is quite willing to make up these false threats against himself, and I think he needs that. I think they need a constant threat. They need, this, that, and the other. These cops have thrown away their careers. They've thrown away their civil service. I find it funny that a policeman that shoots himself gets more time than shooting unarmed people who are not threatening him in any way. But I guess I'll take my justice wherever it is, You have to do that sometimes when you're a member of the oppressed class. You have to take your victories wherever you can find them. I try to tell black people that. Doesn't mean that I'm asleep or, okay, I'm okay. No, it doesn't mean any of that. Doesn't mean any of that. Certainly not saying that. Certainly not saying that anyway. But you have to be thankful sometimes when things work out well or when justice is done. And you have to hope that justice catches on. You have to hope that you have to hope that things adjust themselves, Society adjusts itself and things get better. Peace out.